Um, Hello everyone again. So we're gonna start the session now. So we welcome everyone and we thank you for taking your time in your day to join us today and learn with us today. So we just to reiterate. So if you're able to use the chat function, just that the chat function is reserved for introducing yourself, saying hello, and telling us where you're from. And we're going to use the Q&A function basically to ask questions, strictly for questions. And for the questions, they're gonna be addressed in the presentation and after as well if they're not seen during the presentation. So today we're bringing to you the first day of a webinar series that we've planned as the Professional Development Director. So to introduce myself, my name is Brian Siete. I'm the Professional Development Director, along with my partner Siasanga Kwinana, and we have collaborated with the Campus and Outreach Director, headed by Portia Weber, to bring you a Vets Golden Key week-long webinar series that is aimed at career empowerment and development. This is to help our members and the vets community at large in navigating the current landscape in the employment arena, considering the current state of affairs with the pandemic and the economic crisis it has caused. We hope that you will learn something from this series of webinars and will help you present your best self to the employers. So today we're presenting you a webinar that is focused at the importance of LinkedIn, because we realized that it's one thing to have a LinkedIn account and it's another thing to make it work for you. So without wasting any time, I would like to introduce you our speaker today. He's a veti. He's a high impact entrepreneur, occasional writer, a speaker, and a multi award winning leader. He's passionate about entrepreneurship and its role in bringing positive change in society in South Africa. He stands as an alumnus to the Young African to the to the Young African Leaders Initiative, Investec Startup School, and the McKinsey Core University, among others. Through his insight on authentic personal branding strategy, leadership, advocacy for maximizing all forms of learning, he has enabled numerous young and seasoned professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs to discover and build high-value personal brands and achieve greater personal, professional, and entrepreneurial success. So our speaker today is Penny Mabukela. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Usually I say, on the record, I am a high impact entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. Off the record, I'm just someone who is trying to make as much impact as I can in the lives of others and help them reach greater levels of their potential. I'm gonna share my video shortly, just so everyone can see me and so there can be a bit of like interaction. This is me, this is Peño. This is how I smile. I don't just smile for pictures. And I really look forward to having this, what I consider conversations. If you've been to any of the speaking engagements that I've been at, you realize that they take more of a conversational style. So if you do have a question during, please feel free to pop it in the Q&A, and then I will answer as it goes, right? And I'm really happy that you are here, and I hope that you really take something out of this. And if there's something specific which you came that's pending in you, you can also pop it into the question, and I'll try to accommodate it as we go throughout the presentation, right? Awesome. And thank you to the Golden Key Society, and thank you to everyone who's here for this platform. And it's not, for me, it's something that I'm really excited to be doing. If you know me, you know that one of my favorite apps or platforms is LinkedIn, right? I could talk about it for hours on, but today time is limited, and I hope that I can actually add a lot of value, right? To build a bit of rapport, right, and to just get a bit of buy-in from you guys, I just have to bribe you guys a bit, right? So this is just like you could call it a heat map of the different touch points and activities I've participated in, opportunities and places where I've had the opportunity to make an impact. And I'm doing this I'm someone who likes revealing secrets. I'm doing this so that you can know that you are in safe and capable hands, right? And if any of this doesn't make you feel that you're in safe and capable hands, well, just take the trust that I am also part of the Golden Key International Honor Society. So I'm family, I'm family. Be nice because I'm also family. But to give a more uh, practical case study or example of why you should trust me in the insights that I'll be delivering to you, is one of those was that I got the opportunity to work with a very talented individual, and it was related more towards online branding and maximizing the use. And it's quite a familiar face. If you've have a television set, you've probably seen this face before. It's one of the rising stars in our media space. But to jump in to today, I hope that everyone is comfortable and everyone's feeling settled and everyone feels like, okay, they can trust me, they're in safe hands. And if this still doesn't make you trust me, please do it because we are family. We are all in Golden Key. Now, going into the importance of LinkedIn, LinkedIn is a platform, and it being a platform, it enables you to have a voice, right? It enables you to create a brand, right? But I feel that we also need to get to understand what a brand is, right? The objective of having a platform such as LinkedIn, whether for your professional development, whether for your entrepreneurial development, whether to access opportunities or to network, it has a host of uses and benefits, right? The goal of that is to make sure that every post, every comment, every share, every like, every tag brands you. And that is it. That is the goal. The goal is to ensure that every post, every comment, every share, every tag, every like, it brands you. But one may be asking, what is a brand? We hear of brands, we hear of retail brands, we hear of different sorts of brands, right? And for those who are coming in, and this is just a whole new space, like what is LinkedIn, right? Like what's LinkedIn? What is a brand? What's personal branding? What's using it to maximize your opportunities? We need to understand what branding is and what a brand is, because once you know what a brand is, then you can start building your brand, right? Now, I like breaking things down. Like I just take a definition and I break it down. So to me, a brand is simply a built reputation and a name developed, right? Or build reputations and names developed, right? And I don't know if some of us are aware here, but consciously or unconsciously, we have all been building our brands. We have all been building our reputation. We've all been building a name for ourselves, whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, right? Meaning that at this point, there's already an image that you've sent out to people, right? There's already a certain persona that you've been communicating to people, whether it's deliberate or not deliberate. And now the main question is, would you rather have people have an image of you that is out of your control, or one that you are able to influence to bring out the best qualities in you that will enable you to reach your goal? Whether your goal is getting a job, whether your goal is making key connections, whether your goal is being in the same space as high potential individuals, right? So going into what a brand is, right? We did say it's a built reputation and a name developed, right? We did say. And this is something that goes on with us, right? It's in our actions, it's in what we say. But as you've seen with the pandemic, right? Now what you say and do has literally gone virtual, right? It's literally gone virtual. Like everything is online now. Traditionally, this would be a speaking engagement. I would be on a platform, you would be in your seats, and we would be having a great time. But now it's online, right? Now, your personality needs to pop up online. Now, your values your strengths need to pop up online, right? So looking at the first word, build, right? I just put a dictionary definition of it, right? It's a built, it's a built thing. It's something that's built. And as we mentioned before, you can choose whether it's built in your control or you're just gonna let it be something that is just taken like as it is without your influence on it, right? Now, when we look at reputation, which is what people normally understand as a brand, right? These are the beliefs and opinions that are generally held about someone or something, right? Now, when you look at a reputation, this is something that can be managed. So if I'm always on time, I build a reputation that I'm someone who is punctual. If I am always lazy, I build a reputation as someone who is unreliable, right? If I'm always sharing insights, I build a reputation as someone who is insightful, right? And this is where the brand comes in and you connect it with LinkedIn, right? Now, as I mentioned before, LinkedIn is a platform, right? And that platform is one where you can do several things that you would decide how you want to maximize the value of you being on LinkedIn, right? But it's a platform with people in it, right? And if you've been through, there's a guide I prepared. It's called How to LinkedIn, right? It's also available for download on my website. And one of the first things I did was define what LinkedIn is, right? And I'm sure probably you've heard of LinkedIn. It's a place where you can get jobs. It's a place where you can network. It's a place where you can share insights. It's a place where you can learn. It has so many pockets in it. But simply put, right, in my definition of what LinkedIn is, right, LinkedIn is simply the place where everyone who has everything that you need can be accessed. That is LinkedIn. The place where everyone who has everything that you need can be accessed. Now, that everything can be a job, that everything could be the next co-founder for your entrepreneurial venture, that next that everything could be someone who will help you in your research studies. It could be someone who could mentor you. That's the everything. And those things are in people. And to be honest, people base things based on reputation. Can I trust you? Do I feel that you are reliable? And sometimes it can become difficult to look into those things to say, now here's a reputation that I need to make, right? That I need to build, that I need to manage, right? In order to be able to get these things. But even if you look at how you work, on how you operate, how you make friends, how you make colleagues, and all of those, it's based on reputation. Do you trust the person? Do you feel like this person is reliable? Do you feel like this person will add value to you? And now take that same mindset and apply it to your own personal brand, to your reputation. And that's when you start asking yourself questions such as, how do I come across to people? How do people see me as a professional? How do people see me as a student? How do people see me as an entrepreneur? And once you're able to get a feel of what is out there and how people perceive you, then you can also work towards cultivating the sort of image or the reputation that you want to set out, right? And an authentic one, right? Now, as I said before, right, it's very important, which is why I'm bringing it up again. Consciously or unconsciously, you have been building your reputation, whether it's positive, whether it's negative. You've been building a name for yourself, right? And now, when it comes to online platforms, right, and building reputation online, it's not like there's this one thing you're gonna make this one great post, and this post is gonna position you so well. This post is gonna get you the job. This post is gonna get recruiters flooding to bring you in, right? It's in the little things. It's in the consistent message that you are sending out, right? Now let's take a couple of examples, right? So some of these might just be a bit outish, but bear with me, right? So do you remember? And you can pop it in the comments, yes or no, or you can pop it in the comments, or you can just leave it as it is. But does anyone here remember advocating for the death penalty, particularly in the heated moment of 2019, when there was that huge movement, right, against gender-based violence, right? Does anyone here perhaps remember one day posting online, asking themselves, how did I get home last night? Right? Do you remember saying something negative about, say, a lecturer, a colleague, a certain company? Do you remember maybe reflecting on your weekend, the great weekend you had, and how you were hungover on Monday morning, but you managed to get through your day at work, right? And these are things that are there. These are things that are there, right? And these things, whether we look at it or not, build into the reputation that we have online, right? And now I can see at this point, it's sinking in how you can consciously or unconsciously build your brand. Now the question is this something that you want to be out there? Is this something that you want people to know you for? Because at some point, you may say, well, it is what it is. It's already online, right? But now you're moving into different spaces. Now you're looking to go into the job market. Now you're looking to position yourself better for opportunities. Maybe it's opportunities to travel abroad. Maybe it's opportunities to go into leadership in different spaces. And now all these things are what people use to create an image of you in their mind from an external perspective, right? Now, there are also some things, right, that we say offline. And now this won't affect your online brand, but it will affect how people perceive you on the ground, right? But why do I bring these two together, right? And the reason I'm bringing these two together, both online and offline, is because of the word authenticity, right? There's a parallel that's there, right? You can't be online who you are not offline, right? The two have to be one, because you can't sustain something that's not authentic, right? And what I'm trying to get here is, if you thought that LinkedIn, for instance, is one of the platforms where you can go and fake it till you make it, it really might not work in your favor, because in the long run, you need to be an authentic person, and that will show as time goes, right? But what now? Like, what now? So you are there sitting like, Penny, I'm hearing you. Like, I listen to you, you're talking about branding, you're talking about reputation. And I did those things. Like, I posted about the hangover on Monday morning. I posted about how I cheated on my test. I posted about how I hate my boss and how he's such a XYZ, right? And what now? Is there still hope? Like, what? Like, tell me some good news, right? And this is what I'm bringing to you now, right? This is the good news. The good news is you can still do it. You can still build your brand. You can still build a reputation and a name for yourself that will position you better for opportunities, right? Now, going back to the first thing that I said, right? Let every post, every comment, every share, every tag, every like, let it brand you, right? Let it be part of your brand, right? And this is very important, right? I know I've not been speaking directly to LinkedIn, but I just wanted to put this context out there of what a brand is, so that when we have the conversation about LinkedIn, when we have conversation about the platform where one can actually go in and actually utilize it to build these things, we have the context of why we're even on LinkedIn to begin with, right? And why it is that people are saying that it can help you get a job, why people are saying it can help you network, is because of the brand, it's because of the reputation. That is the value of LinkedIn. Because once you have a good name, once you have a good brand, there is literally very little that can stand between you and your way of getting whatever it is that you want to achieve. right? Now, I'm gonna use a literal example, right? So I just took a screenshot of some of the things that people have said about me online on my LinkedIn account, right? And I just chose some of the people, some of them whom I met through LinkedIn, right? And what they say really matters, right? You know, when it comes to pursuing your dreams and everything, it's always a common notion to say, you know, what people say doesn't matter. Follow your heart, go with your dream, which is true. When it comes to branding, what they say really matters. And that is why you need to make sure that what is being said about you is what you would like to be said about you. What people find when they put your name in a Google search is what you would like them to find. And if you've not done it yet, I do this almost every single day. Make a habit of typing in your name and surname and Google search it. See what pops out, right? See what pops out. And is that something that you like? Because when someone is trying to look for you online, whether it's a recruiter, whether it's a colleague, whether it's an opportunity, they put in your name, they put in your surname in a Google search, and what pops up gives them a first impression of this is who we're dealing with, right? Now, when you're on LinkedIn, chances are when you get Googled, your LinkedIn account will be the first thing that really pops out right there at the top. And then they can go through and see your profile, right? So I'm gonna end this briefing session about branding with a few tools that you can use, right? So if, like I mentioned earlier on, there's a guide. It's titled How to LinkedIn, right? There's a guide that I prepared and I've made the chapters available online. If you just go to my website, penyumavukela.com, you should be able to find the download link, right? You should be able to download it. It's really great. It'll really walk you through the process of LinkedIn, what LinkedIn is, how to make a good bio, a good profile image, and the different things that are there, right? More like the technical side of it. But all those things are tools, right? But never forget the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that LinkedIn is a platform where you can build a brand that positions you better to be able to access different opportunities, to be able to access different individuals, to paint a picture of it, right? Every single person who you need is probably on LinkedIn, especially when you're talking about careers, right? When you're talking about looking for individuals that have experience in industry, maybe you're looking for a mentorship, maybe you're looking for internship, maybe you're looking to even propel your career forward. Maybe you're already working, right? And you want to build networks with other people in your industry. LinkedIn is one of the platforms that will enable you to access those people. But remember, it's always about perception. It's always about perception. It's always about the reputation. It's always about how people perceive you. And whether or not you are able to extract value from them will be based on the brand that they're seeing in you, right? So that is the brand in relation to LinkedIn, right? I am happy to take any questions that relate to LinkedIn, maybe your personal struggle, maybe there's a certain area that you want to know about, right? But when you look at a platform such as LinkedIn, the importance of it is, especially in a time like now, where literally everything is going virtual, the importance of LinkedIn as a platform that you should have, as one of the apps you should have, as the most valuable social network app that you could have right now, right? Where it's not about just people liking and commenting and giving you fire emojis in the drop down, but where the people that are liking could actually enhance your brand and could actually help you in your journey, right? So a platform such as LinkedIn puts you in a space where you are able to interact with some of the brightest minds in the country, right? And obviously, you know, brightest mind and what brightest mind means. I mean, like golden key people, shout out, shout out. But there are other bright minds out there which you can connect with, right? And LinkedIn is one of the best platforms that I have found useful in enhancing my personal brand, in making meaningful connections, right? In being able to position myself for employment opportunity, position myself for entrepreneurial opportunity, position myself for all sorts of opportunities, right? And that is one of the reasons why it's very important for you to have it, right? But I want you to not look at it as a place where you want to go there and just get a job, because that is very vague, right? A lot of people say LinkedIn is a place where you get jobs, hence why people only want to get on LinkedIn after their studies or when they want to go into the job market. But what I'm bringing forward to you is that you need to have a LinkedIn account so you can start building your personal brand today. Because when you build this brand over time and you build the different networks and relationships over time, by the time you need the job, by the time you need the internship, by the time you need the mentorship, that is when it will already, that the name would already be developed. You'd be a familiar face, right? I think I'm probably among one of the most visible people on LinkedIn in South Africa, right? And also, if you put it by age, I'm probably one of the youngest, most visible people in South Africa, right? And to tell you the truth, on my end, I've only been on LinkedIn for over a year, right? For over a year, right? And the results that I've seen from being on LinkedIn and helping other people be on LinkedIn have been tremendous, right? And I know we can't cover everything in this session, but I really want to use most of the session to address some of the questions you have about LinkedIn and some of the myths you might have heard, or some of the barriers between you and being on LinkedIn, right? So I think in terms of the outlining the importance of LinkedIn, I believe that I've done that part, and I'm open to like taking questions and making this an invaluable session that can actually add value to your where you are in your journey with LinkedIn at this moment.
Okay. So everyone, you can we can use the Q&A platform to ask any questions if you have any questions that you would like to ask Mr. Mabukela. So for me, I'll start. I have a question. So you spoke about
Yeah.
consistency with LinkedIn. Do you personally have like a routine posting strategy on LinkedIn, or how does it work in terms of your consistency on LinkedIn?
So consistency is important. I mean, thank you for the question. I wouldn't say I have a fixed routine now, because I'm not gonna lie, my schedule changes a lot and it becomes difficult to manage. But I do make sure that I'm consistently on the platform. But in the earlier stages of my journey, I was literally on LinkedIn every single day, right? And interacting with people, engaging with people, building these networks. So I think a lot of times when we look at like building your LinkedIn profile and everything, people think that you just do it overnight in one day, right? I know if you go on my profile, you just open the profile, it might be like, yo, how long is it going to take me to fill all this stuff in? So when I started, I would do like 15 minutes, right? So I would say today I'm going on my profile to put a profile picture, and I put the profile picture. After that, I'm out. Tomorrow I go, I say, okay, I'm gonna work on my about description, and then try spend time do that and put it and just leave and be patient with it, right? Be patient with it and update the details bit by bit and bit by bit until I have like a profile sorted out, right? You can also follow there's sort of like a outline structure in the book, the guide I put together, the How to LinkedIn guide. But to answer your question, consistency is important, and it was not like a fixed routine, but I just knew that every day I had to do at least one thing for my LinkedIn profile.
Okay, thank you for that. So someone asked here on the chat option, they say, are all your social media platforms linked to your LinkedIn account?
Thank you for the question, anonymous attendee, right? I think brand alignment is something that's very important, right? And that's something that brand alignment simply means that wherever people go, they should find one message, hear one voice, right? It should be one message, one voice. So LinkedIn is where the core focus in terms of building my personal brand is, and other social media platforms are also there, and I try to make them echo what is said of me, so that there's one voice, so that you don't go on Twitter I'm a savage, on LinkedIn I'm insightful, on Instagram I'm a model. That just creates confusion, right? It just creates confusion. So I would say my social media platforms are aligned, right? They are aligned. It's very rare that you'll find discrepancies between what I do on one platform and the other. And sometimes this means taking an hour or so to just delete all the unnecessary content that you've been putting out and just start afresh.
All right. So we see here Shandukani Mudau asks, how do you ensure that the professionals you connect and network with on LinkedIn are credible, because some and almost people are just trying to solicit or scam other professionals?
Lovely question. Also have personal experience with that. I'm not gonna say I stalk, but I do my research, right? I do my research. I think one of the important principles of being on LinkedIn is value exchange and sharing value, right? It's not just about connecting with as many people as possible, hoping that somehow because you've just connected with them or you send connection request, that automatically means that you are networking, right? Networking is about building relationships. So I personally, I choose who I connect with, and I do a bit of a study, a bit maybe now it's actually easier for me to filter since I've been on the platform for long. I can actually see a scam coming, right? So the moment someone says, please email me on my personal email, before you even know each other, and or they say, I have an opportunity for you, or I run a company that has operations in South Africa or in New Zealand, and we're looking for an export partner, blah, blah, blah. You already know this one is fishy. But a quick hack that helps for me, if you suspect an account is not what it claims to be, they're usually sloppy in their job, right? Check the name that they have on their profile, go down to see the profile URL. You might find that the names are not the same, right? So that's a quick hack for me. But I do my research. I don't just connect with people for the sake of connecting with them. So if I want to connect with someone, rather I've seen something, whether on LinkedIn or off LinkedIn, right? And I build those relationships. And if you're looking to build relationships, you will be quick to tell if someone is trying to scam or not.
All right. Thank you for that. So Portia also asked, constant liking, commenting, and congratulating and reposting on other people's things gets tiring. Is there anything else more engaging?
Oh wow. Yeah, Portia. Portia has been on LinkedIn. I know that because LinkedIn has a celebratory culture, right? So usually how I paint it out, on Twitter we pull down, on LinkedIn we lift up. It creates balance, right? But it's for me. That's why I said the word authentic really matters to me, right? I don't just celebrate for the sake of celebrating or celebrate because it's a tactic or what. I don't view building a brand as a way of um looking at the value that you can get from people. So I celebrate with my friends and sometimes with my connections. And yes, it can get tiring depending on why you do it, right? So for instance, would you get tired of wishing your friends happy birthday? Right. And if you don't get tired of wishing your friends happy birthday, now you need to ask, how can I make the people on LinkedIn like my friends? Right? How can I make them similar to my friends where I don't get tired of sharing whatever it is, the content that they've put out, of celebrating with them, right? But you could also look into sharing your own content, sharing your own views and ideas. And I really encourage this to everyone who's here. LinkedIn is a place you might think that your ideas are average, or you might think that your ideas might not be the best ideas, because sometimes you can be overwhelmed by the quality of individuals on LinkedIn, right? But I can tell you now, there's a CEO who has similar thoughts and views to yours. And just by you sharing your views, they can actually be like, I like this person's way of thinking. And they connect with you. That's a way of also aligning yourself and getting like opportunities. I can tell you now, there's some people that have sent me DMs on LinkedIn or inboxed me on LinkedIn saying, I've been following you for quite some time and I've been liking the engagement and this. You share really insightful stuff. And it always gets me to that point of, wow, so people have been watching and people do watch what you say and what you're putting out. So if it gets tiring, for me personally, it would mean that I don't really have a close relationship with those people, or I need to start also putting out content, right? So yeah, that's my answer on that one.
Okay, so just to add on what Portia also on Portia's question, she said that there are posts on LinkedIn where people are asking for jobs. Do you think that resharing or reposting these posts ruins personal brand? Is branding partly also reposting or reacting?
Yeah, that's look, I think wherever you can help, right? Wherever you can help. But this is what I will caution against, right? Going on a platform like LinkedIn and begging for a job. And this is something that I've also found in other things that I've read up on, right? Is that by you begging for a job, you are saying that I don't know what my value is, right? And I don't know what I have to offer, but I just need a job. There are different ways I would think one can go about it. I'm not putting shade on anyone who puts out and they're looking for a job. I'm just saying when you look at it from a numbers perspective, there are too many people saying unemployed graduate need a job, help, right? When you can do the reverse of that and communicate your value, make a habit of communicating your value. There's one lady on LinkedIn who is an unemployed graduate, but she started putting out content with the hashtag dear unemployed graduate, and then she puts in brackets including myself, and she says encouragement, she says motivation, she shares her journey, right? And now what that does is that she's sharing valuable information and encouragement and motivation and building that network, right? And you might not see, but that in bracket including myself is literally telling people I'm an unemployed graduate. So now when someone has an opportunity and they're like, wow, this is such a powerful motivation, and they're like, wait, this person's unemployed. And it's probably they're in a field that I am in. Oh, let me see if I can plug this person with an opportunity. So I would say that focus on building a brand, focus on communicating your value, right? As opposed to just putting out, I need a job, 1, 2, 3. And it's good to share other people's things. I don't think personally, this is just a personal view, right? I believe that I should never get to a point where I feel that helping other people is tarnishing my brand, right? But you also need to know that as time goes, there are so many people, and you would literally repost a million people if you were just reposting everything that said, please help me get a job, right? And people start to become numb to that.
Okay, very insightful with regards to that question. So, anonymous attendee is asking, is having a LinkedIn account more important or valuable than having a e-portfolio?
Okay. I would say if both of them work, use both, right? LinkedIn is one of the tools that are out there. And for me, it's one of the best tools because it connects you to people. An e-portfolio would have people go and view your stuff. But your LinkedIn account, you can match the two where people know a bit about your work, but they also connect the human element to it. Because people don't employ the functions you can perform, but rather the quality of individual that you are, especially looking at the climate we're in now, where the jobs are changing, right? And they're changing rapidly. So people that are adaptable or have a high adaptability quotient are people that are sought after to say, yes, you have your qualification, but beyond that, what kind of person are you? And someone can be searching for you on LinkedIn, and by just looking at the posts that you share, the comments that you make on other people's content, they can get a feel of the kind of individual you are. So
Okay.
I'd say do both, but I don't know if the e-portfolio would allow you to engage with people.
All right. So Shiranzi Wakosa asked, how can I set up a LinkedIn profile that gives better recommendation for making connections, especially as a student?
Okay. I used the first 500, right? But by the first 500, it's something that's also in the guide. Like I sort of like filtered the first 500 people I connect with, so that LinkedIn, when it picks up the recommendations or people it recommends to me, there are people that are aligned to that specific style, right? So you should know what value you want to extract from your brand, whether it's a job, whether it's networking with certain kinds of people and certain industries, right? A quick hack, if you're looking to connect with people, you can just say, for instance, go on the search bar and search Standard Bank. If you know Standard Bank is the place of your dreams, and then you just connect with everyone from Standard Bank, right? But I think communicate the kind of people you want to connect with using your profile's intro, using your bio. If you know you want to connect with people that are more entrepreneurial inclined, let your bio state, right? Let your bio state and give the impression that you are looking to connect with people that are entrepreneurial or that you are entrepreneurial, right? And don't be afraid to shoot your shot in the DMs. You'd be surprised. Shoot your shot in the DMs. Make mention, hi, this is who I am. I really love your work and stuff like that. I'd really love to keep connected with you and learn more from engaging with you, right? I don't know if I answered the question.
I hope you have. I hope the person asked is answered. So moving on, we have McAndry asking, I also co-asked this question also. I think it's very important. So after connecting with someone, how do you leave an impression? Because you can just connect with someone, they've accepted your connection, and then what's next? You start chatting with them. So how do you leave an impression?
Okay, so for me, I prefer personalized invites, right? To send people personalized invites, because a personalized invite, you just click options there and then say personalized invite, and sometimes it prompts you. A personalized invite would be something like, "Hey Megan, I really like the content that you shared, or we met at XYZ event, and I'd like to keep connected with you and stuff." Once they accept it, then you thank them for connecting. Say, hey Megan, thank you so much for accepting my connection request. I really feel that you're making an invaluable contribution in my network. I look forward to further engagement, right? And that just gives that thing where you're making that sort of like connection sort of thing. You might not need anything at that point. Sometimes people put like a value proposition forward to say, if you ever need anything, please feel free to get in touch with me. Or if, for instance, you are Brian from Golden Key Vets, you're like, okay, so I work a lot with students through the Golden Key International Honor Society. And if you might be looking to get in touch with students at any point for 1, 2, 3, if maybe you know what they're into, please feel free to let me know, or if there's any other way I can help you, right? So communicate value, like offer service, like help first, like a help first approach to it.
Okay, thank you. I see we're running out of time. So just to address the last few questions, someone asked, what are the key components should you have in your LinkedIn bio to stand out? Like, should you have education skills? What are the key components that we should, like, are important to do? Quickly.
Okay, so state your value, right? State your competencies and the kind of opportunities you want to be aligned with, right? But to make your profile stand out, I think look to what kind of people am I looking to connect with. If I'm looking to connect with entrepreneurs, what would draw in entrepreneurs? What are the keywords that they use? If I'm looking to connect with people in academics, right? Maybe I will mention about my passion for academia and a specific field that I'm looking to grow in, and the skills that I aim to develop in that sort of sense. It all depends on what you want to get out of it.
Okay, thank you. I also, just to add on that, I think the booklet that Penyo spoke about in the talk, that summarizes what are the important components of basic when building your profile. I think we should revisit that. I think it will also give you a clear breakdown of which areas you should focus on. So one of the second last question is saying, what is the line between too personal and keeping it professional, but building a relationship?
The line between personal and keeping it too professional
Yes.
and keeping it professional. Um,
Yes.
I think you okay, so there's some things that I won't post on my LinkedIn, right? Because of the nature of the platform and the people that I want to engage with. Not because the content is bad or what, but because it's not aligned with the kind of value I want to add on the platform and the kind of value I want to get from the platform, right? So I won't go on LinkedIn to post about my younger brother's birthday, right? And say we had such a great time, or I went to a bride this weekend, right? Whatever I put out is something that will add value to how people see me and how they can get value from me as well, right? But I also think that personality should not be detached from your brand. LinkedIn is not the formal, it's not like a suit and tie platform. It's more of connecting with people, but keep it professional in how you engage with people, be respectful. The same applies, laws of etiquette still apply on LinkedIn as they do elsewhere. Engage in a professional manner, give thoughtful comments, and yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the last question is, what are some examples of good content? Like when you're starting out, when you've built out your profile, what is it that I must start posting about? Should I start with motivational quotes? What is it that is like a good starting point in terms of content?
Okay. I think it, like I said before, it all depends on the kind of brand that you're trying to build. But I'll use an example with me. So I wanted to be on LinkedIn to connect with people who are entrepreneurs or entrepreneurially minded, right? And one of the first things that I did was communicate that I'm an entrepreneur, right? And also communicate the entrepreneurial interests that I have, or even sometimes introducing yourself. A quick post that you can put as a beginner is maybe introduce yourself. Hi, I'm new on LinkedIn and someone told me that this is a great platform. Or you can even text, Kenya told me that this is such a great platform. And so I decided to go on this platform. I'm looking forward to engaging with you people. If you have any advices for me as a beginner, please help me out. You will be surprised at how many people will actually be keen to comment and engage on your content and try to help you. So you can seek help or offer help.
Okay. I think Shandukani, I think your question in terms of like, do you think it's important to state certificates acquired from different institutions by online platforms like LinkedIn Learning and Future Learning and Udemy?
Yes.
Okay, straightforward answer, yes. So that's important to highlight. All your qualifications, because those fall under your competencies. So you should
Yes.
definitely list them. So Awelani
Yeah.
is asking, would you advise students to shadow someone with a similar profession they are about to enter into a career-wise, or LinkedIn? I don't know if I'm,
On LinkedIn.
yes.
On LinkedIn, yeah. So I would say shadow, right? But also don't be afraid to connect. These professionals, like professionals, entrepreneurs, that people are actually keen to helping, right? So shadow someone, because when you shadow them, you'll be able to see um, the kind of connections that are there and the type of people that are there, right? And how they actually engage. You'll pick up a bit of like industry lingo or what is the common mood in that industry and stuff. But if you're also open to exploring different like fields, that is also an option. But it is important. Follow people that are in your profession, engage with their content because you don't know when you will meet them, right? And connect with people in your industry or in the area you're interested in because these are people, especially people in strategic positions, right? Some people will know you before they even meet you. That is fact. They will know you before they meet you, and by the time they meet you, they will have a positive impression of you based on your engagements with them on LinkedIn.
All right. So I think all the questions have been answered. So we will be closing the session. So I'd like to take this time to thank our guest speaker, Mr. Penyo Mabukela, for joining us and taking your time out of your busy schedule to share with us your knowledge on personal branding as well as LinkedIn and navigating. And also, we would like to thank you for making the resources that you've made available to us in terms of building your LinkedIn. So I would suggest everyone to go onto Mr. Mabukela's website and access those documents so that you can start building your personal brand on LinkedIn. So for me personally, I definitely sabawela some rebranding to be done on my side, because you've spoken about something that is important in terms of linking. Someone asked the question of linking your LinkedIn to other social medias, because for me, I think there's discrepancies when it comes to that. I kind of have
Mm,
with these different social media platforms, it's like they have different personalities among them. So you raise an important thing of linking your personalities. Your personality should flow all through those LinkedIn, what do you call, your social media platforms. So you've
mm.
definitely changed my perspective, and I hope everyone has learned something from this and they took away something from this. So tomorrow we're having another, what do you call it? We're having another career, what do you call, empowerment info session, a webinar. So it's going to be focused on virtual interviews. I hope you guys join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. The Zoom link will be made available. I think it has also been sent via emails. So we thank you so much, Mr. Mabukela, for joining us tonight. And we thank everyone who has been available to join this session as well and learn with us. And we thank you so much.
It's a
Sure.
pleasure. Thank you for all the questions, and I hope this has added value. And I'm always looking to connect with people. Reach out. I'm always open to help.
All right. So his email address is available down there. So it's connect@penyomabukela.com. So you can reach him as well on LinkedIn. You can search his name. He'll pop out, and hopefully everyone will start on working on their personal brands from today onwards. Thank you so much for attending, guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Enjoy your evening.
Cheers.
Bye.